Welcome to the Digital Business Evolution Podcast, a place that you can now call home. I know you're creating long-lasting impact in this world, and you absolutely deserve the time, location, career, and financial freedom that you desire. I'm here to guide you with proven strategies, tools, and mindset hacks that I've taught to thousands of business owners. You'll also be hearing from exceptional guests sharing stories of their own personal and business evolution. My name is Jessica DeRose, and I'm here to teach you what I'm learning. We are all inherently worthy, regardless of the number of degrees, awards, and accolades that we've collected along the way. Grab a notebook, a coffee, and enjoy the show. Hey, I'm jumping on real quick to let you know about a really cool opportunity to work with me completely for free. So every Tuesday, I'm offering coaching over texting. And that means the first 10 people to text me on my number and ask me a question, I'm going to coach them back completely for free. Voice memos, long form text, it 100% is me. This is the stuff that lights me up most in my business. So your questions can be anything from business to strategy, working with your spouse, RV life. Really, there are no questions off the table. You just need to make sure that you get it in quickly on Tuesdays because I am only coaching the first 10 people. So my number is 973-358-7836. This is for US numbers only. Make sure on Tuesdays you text me your questions. I'll get you your answers, and you'll be added to my text community where you're going to be getting different texts from me throughout the week. Strategies, motivation, all the things. So 973-358-7836. Can't wait to hear from you. We are back with another episode of We don't know the name yet. Where Mike and Jess just talk. So today we're jumping on and we are chatting all things why we're sitting in Airbnb in Austin, Texas, and what we're doing. So babe, what are we doing?
What are we doing? We're in Austin. First of all, I just want to say, I am so glad we came back to Austin. We almost didn't. We almost just skipped and went right across the country. And we'll get into why. But babe, I'm glad we're in Austin for a lot of reasons. But mainly, it totally validated... Do you know what I'm going to say?
I do.
It totally validated that we freaking hate the humidity. All due respect to everyone that lives here.
It's disgusting.
But yeah, I mean, Austin's cool. It's an awesome vibe, great community. Love it. But F this weather.
I don't like feeling like I'm in the jungle.
Yeah. And for the record, we live in Scottsdale when people are like, it's so freaking hot there. Have you been here in the summer? And I'm like, yeah. But you know what sucks? Humidity. So anyway, I'm glad we're in Austin. It's super cool. It's dope here.
It's really dope. Yeah. And they've kept it weird.
They have. I mean, it's
no, it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. And where our Airbnb is, we are right off of like a little main strip area. And it's really nice. We walked to dinner last night, met up with a friend. We got some vegan ice cream.
And that felt really cool. We were like, oh, wow, we remember doing this. It reminded us of New York.
The stuff that we liked in New York.
But not being in like the
craziness.
The crayons.
The crayons.
Yeah.
Not being in the craziness.
Let's get on with it.
So, yeah. You can have greenery other places too.
Yeah. So we're driving across the country.
Well, let's just backtrack for 1 second. We live in Scottsdale now.
Yeah. How did that happen?
That's a thing. So we left New York City in September of 2020. We got rid of all of our stuff, donated it, sold it, put most of it in storage, and bought a 40-foot motorhome.
Mm-hmm. And a Jeep Wrangler.
Yep. And we hit the country for a little road tour.
14 months.
27 states.
Something like that.
15 national parks and like dozens of state parks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a lot of awesome in between.
A lot of awesome in between. When people ask us our favorite spots, we can give those to you, but people will often ask our favorite thing and we say the in between.
Yeah. Because you fly city to city. Even if you go into like the national parks in Utah, you fly to Salt Lake and then you drive to them, right? But we were just driving everywhere. So everything in between was super cool. We got to see a lot of small town America. So anyway, we're in Scottsdale.
Picked up a dog along the way.
We did. Sorry,
buddy. Don't forget. Month 9 of the 14, or month 10, something like that.
Rescued a dog in Montana. Creatively named him
Montana.
Yep.
His name was Hollis. We changed it.
Yes.
And landed in Scottsdale because we had wintered in Scottsdale in the RV. We loved it. We've got a great entrepreneurial community there. We're obsessed with the weather. Good there.
We love the weather.
It felt good. So we did 27 states and only 2 of them.
Well, let's not get too crazy with that. There's parts of a lot of the states that felt really good, but there was probably 2 where we were like,
we both,
we could live here.
Yeah, our bodies felt grounded.
Idaho,
and good. Idaho and Arizona.
And I would say most of Arizona.
Yeah.
You know?
They just felt.
I don't think we would set up shop in Camp Verde again. That's a podcast for another day. But anyway, Scottsdale just felt, people were like, why? And it just felt really good. So
you all know, you've been to places that you're like, I don't know, I just love it. Yeah. It just felt really good. And we've got an incredible community and we love the weather. So
anyway,
in October of 2021, we sold the RV, bought a house. We live in Scottsdale, and just 3 weeks ago decided, hey, we've been sitting around for far too long, because in Jess and Mike world, 6 months is a long time to be sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Fun fact, we've broken every lease we've ever been in, and our tenant has lived in our house longer than we ever did.
Yeah.
In New Jersey. And so we decided
we're gonna be snowbirds, but I think the even pretext, is that the right word, babe? You gotta help me with these words.
Prelude,
whatever it is.
The
snowbird thing has been, you know what? It's on my vision board this year, which I love when this stuff happens. Action board, sorry. I know you're very particular about this stuff. But we've been talking about being snowbirds, young snowbirds, pre-retired snowbirds since pandemic. Or sorry, I hate using that word, since 2020.
But even before, I feel like when we were even dating or just married, we used to drink. We didn't know how it would happen because I was a teacher, you were working at the bank, we lived in New Jersey, or we lived in New York City.
Yep.
And that was that.
I think that's a good place to start. It's kind of like, you don't know what it's going to look like, but it's so important to put it out there.
Yeah.
And we constantly were like,
it'll happen.
We don't have to stay in one spot. Like, wouldn't it be awesome if somehow, and again, somehow, we were able to live in 2 different, 3 different, 4 different, who knows, many places. Now, I think it's important to say, when I say it's going to look different for everybody, it's going to look different than what we imagined.
Yep.
We don't have mansions in 2 or 3 different places.
No.
Yet.
We also don't have kids.
We also don't have kids, right?
So it does make it a little bit easier for us, I believe. I don't have kids, but I believe.
It 100%.
Because that's a conversation that
we're
we've
called
had too.
dinks, babe. Dual income, no kids.
That's right.
Dinks.
We're a dink.
We're dinks.
You're a dink.
Even though it's really one income because it's one business. However, I digress.
Yes. We both take a salary.
Yes.
Which we can talk about. So, yes, we don't have these mega mansions in 2 different places or 3 different places yet.
But we knew that we wanted to make it happen.
Right.
And we were like,
we'll figure it out.
Hey, we're going to make it happen now. And we're going to do it. And I will say, we were, in terms of speeding it up, I don't know if this is the case for you, so I don't want to speak for you, babe. I will never speak for you. But when I look at some of our friends who have multiple homes, a particular set of friends, they own 2 homes and then they're renting one in California.
Yeah.
And between that and then a conversation that I had with this other individual, it kind of sparked in my head. I was like, man, we don't have to own a second home.
Sure.
For us, where we're going to go right now. We could, but we don't have to, because maybe we just want to test out the water, right? Maybe we want to see how it feels to go, and we'll get into where we're going to go. Yeah, to be snowbirds and to go where we're going to go.
Sure.
So let's kind of test it out. So
we decided to actually rent an apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment. So we'll have an office back in New Jersey where a lot of our friends and family are, and where we essentially were before we moved to New York City for a couple of years. So, we were in Jersey, then we were in New York, then we left. So it's where some of our roots are. I'm from Jersey. My parents are there, and our 2 best friends and a lot of our other friends. Plus, New York City is just a stone throw away over the river. And
as is the Jersey Shore, which, despite a lot of the
TV show?
Yes, and all the things that you probably all think about it.
It's okay, let them think it.
You know what? Think it. Don't
think
come.
it. Don't
unless
come.
You want to visit us. But we like being near the ocean.
And there's just something about East Coast people. We're East Coasters.
We're East Coast people. We're East Coast people. So we can love Scottsdale, and we want to go spend some time with family and friends, see how it feels.
Yep.
And look, yes, Scottsdale, Phoenix area. There's many days. Most of the summer's over 100.
Yeah,
and
hot.
Some of it hits 115. Dry heat, though. All right, I'm not going to go crazy about that. But anyway, so yeah, we selected New Jersey, and the why was family and friends.
It's our people.
Yeah.
And it's, renting an apartment for a year there. Now, we're not going to be living there for a year, but renting the apartment for the year also gives us a home base. It gives my brother and his wife a home base. It gives us somewhere to all stay when we're going back for Thanksgiving or whatever that might be.
Not that we have to justify it, but let's just dig into the numbers a little because I think this is good for people. We originally were like, oh my goodness, we want to go back and see our families. The house that we were going to rent a house near the shore.
Well, we talked about doing it for the summer.
Yeah, so just for the summer.
3 month
rental.
3
months was going to be like 50 grand, 45 grand.
Yeah. And that wasn't even for like the house.
Yeah.
Like you're thinking, 50 grand. What were they looking at?
You must be on the water.
Yeah. No.
This
was like 50 grand inland.
Yeah. Close to the shore, but not on the shore. But anyway, so we were like, let's rent an apartment. We can have it for the whole year. We can go back whenever we want.
We also don't have to put a down payment down because these are things that you need to think about when you're making a decision like this. So to put a huge down payment, to have the home that you purchase, it sort of creates this other level also, I think, of, for me, permanency or pressure to go back or pressure to spend more time there or pressure in general where renting for us now, it's kind of like, yeah, cool. So for basically the same price, which is crazy, it's actually less. So for less than what we were going to pay for a 3-month rental, we now have a 3-month rental for the summer. And we now have a 12-month lease, which also happens to be in one of those kind of newer luxury apartment buildings, which provides us with a gym. Now we don't have to worry about that.
Pool.
There's a pool. It's salt water. There's a dog park. There's co-working space. And it's very much like a lock and leave situation. So if you're not familiar with what lock and leave means, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. You can tell people the perks of lock and leave.
Real quick, you mentioned a down payment and that we skipped a step. When we were starting to get kind of like bummed about like, wow, these rentals are so expensive for the houses, we actually looked at buying a house. We were like, all right, what's a good lock and leave, which I'll get into. We were like, all right, townhouse is good lock and leave because there's an HOA. They'll take care of it. We don't have to worry about the outside. So like, let's just buy one of those. They're inland, they were reasonably priced near your parents. Mm-hmm. But then, to Jess's point, too permanent for now. Right. We don't know what it's going to feel like. All due respect, Mama G and Papa G, those are Jess's parents. We don't know what it's going to feel like. So that's how we landed on the apartment. Lock and leave is basically, I'm not an expert at this, but you essentially, the outside's taken care of. You know that you can just essentially just lock it, leave, and you know you're going to come back to it. And there isn't really much to maintain in terms of the house. Yeah, you want to obviously like keep the climate under control, but when you're in a building, it's pretty much under control.
Yeah, and they have building management. Yeah. So we lived in apartments in New York and stuff. If something were to go wrong, let's say with the sink, the building management handles that.
Great point.
Versus if we owned a single family home and now, oh my gosh, do we need to fly home?
We need a management company.
Or do we need my mom to go over there or a friend, which she would, but do we need a friend to go over there? You know, you might need a management company. You're now looking for your own plumber, your own pool person or whatever that is. So it's very much a lock and leave. We can just pick up and go. Hey, I'm jumping in to tell you about our newest free tool, a tool that will change the way you approach your business. After working in digital marketing and the coaching space for nearly 10 years, working with thousands, scaling to multiple 7 figures, and helping our clients generate over $11 million in revenue, I've recognized a pattern from all of the most successful coaches and entrepreneurs. They all have an awareness that struggling business owners don't have. You see, they know their unique coaching superpower. After taking this quiz, you'll uncover which of the 4 superpowers runs through your DNA. This awareness will help you discover your personal strengths and blind spots so that you can succeed faster, make a bigger impact, and exponentially grow your income. To take this free quiz, just head on over to jessglazer.com/quiz, and you'll be on your way to harnessing your superpower in minutes. Don't forget to share it and let me know which superpower you have. Tag me at I am Jessica DeRose. The other beautiful thing with the 12-month rental is we can stay as long as we want, and we also can stay as short as we want without feeling guilty or like we're throwing money away by paying this crazy amount for these 3 months of summer where it's like, well, we really should stay.
It just makes things so much easier for us. And babe, you forgot to mention to everyone, we have our New York City apartment in storage, 20 minutes from the place that we decided to rent. So it's going to be really, really seamless for us once we move into this place.
And I'm so excited to see our apartment stuff because it's been in storage for 2 years.
And we like it.
We love
our apartment stuff.
We love our apartment stuff. So we have everything we need. I think we're just going to buy maybe a new bed, but we've got, the office desk and the TV stand, a brand new TV that we had just gotten. We have our couch. We've got everything in storage. So when we get to Jersey and we'll hire movers, they'll literally just take it out of storage, set it up in our apartment. It'll basically look identical to our New York City apartment that we had. And we'll get to kind of test the waters.
I think most important about this, right, is why? Why does all that matter?
Yeah.
Why does that matter?
So we talk about it. I talk about it a lot. I've definitely talked about it on this podcast. I've sent out emails. I talk about it on social media. It's the idea of the carrot. So what's the thing that we're all chasing? We're all on a treadmill chasing something, and that's not bad. That's actually just neutral. It's not good or bad. We want to have goals. We want to be chasing something. We want to be consistently growing. I certainly do. And so the important thing is to not judge your carrot. And I always relate it back to fitness. I was a trainer for 18 years. And in my time training thousands of clients, most people came in because they wanted to change something about their body physically. There was a vanity metric that they wanted to change. Tone my arms, lose my belly fat, get a butt lift, whatever that was. That vanity metric was their carrot. And over time, it would usually translate into actually, now I'm just obsessed with working out. Movement is medicine. I feel so strong. I actually want to learn how to do a pull-up. I want to join a Spartan race. And so what once was this vanity metric was the carrot, it turns into something different. And those goals expand. And that's what happens in business. Usually it starts with, I want to make money. And people actually don't want to admit that, or they feel bad, or they hide it because they think it's vanity. They think it's bad. It's not bad at all.
It's not bad because a business and integrity is helping people.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and a business's purpose is to make impact and income. So that's one of the carrots for us has always been making memories and spending time with family. One of our carrots has been the autonomy and freedom to do things like rent an Airbnb for both families to come and spend the holidays together and be able to fit the bill for it. We just talked about this with Vegas. We went to Vegas, and to be able to fit the bill on getting a table or going out to dinner. So one of our carrots has always been the freedom and autonomy to spend time with family and to create memories with the friends and the family that we love. And now living across the country, essentially on the West Coast, almost coast.
Yeah, 4.5 hours from LA?
Yeah.
It's crazy, 5 maybe.
It's really important for us to be intentional about creating time and space.
I think also it's just what we want to do.
Yeah.
It's what we want to do. It's not, oh man, must be nice, or you're so lucky. We're like, hey, you know what? We want to do it, and we figured out a way to do it.
Yeah.
So there are so many benefits to the fact that we did a rental too. And one of them that we spoke about, it spreads the cost over the year.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to again, that 3-month thing of this huge nut over 3 months, and then you leave the house. Come on. So we are able to just say, hey, this is what we want to do. Mm-hmm. We've worked for it, and we've figured out a way to live an and life.
Solution-oriented,
kind of, this is the goal. How do we reverse engineer?
Yep.
So we landed on the 2-bedroom apartment so that we can still work and live a great life and be near our family and friends for a few months.
Yeah. So then we decided to jack the Jeep up a little bit so that we could take our bikes with us, and so we could take more stuff, because we packed up everything that we're going to be living with into the Jeep. So we got one of those cool rooftop cargo things, and we've been making our way across the country, visiting some people, and that's what we're doing in Austin, visiting some people. And, we'll land in Jersey when we get there, but let's talk about challenges for a second.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about what we're excited about.
Well, so I mean, for me, it's
the humidity.
So, okay. Well, it's very humid. No. For those who don't know, when my hair gets long, it gets a little curly. Okay. No. So, and this is, the challenges are why a lot of people don't do things. I think sometimes I think there's 2 reasons, right? Often it's not thinking big enough, or they think big and then the challenges. So we're both visionaries. We know this, but I think sometimes you have to reel me in a little bit, because I'm like, oh my goodness, this is great. We're going to go to Jersey. We're going to rent out our house in Scottsdale. We're going to buy all this stuff for the Jeep. It's going to be easy. It's going to be great. And then Jess is like, Mike, okay, hold on a second. Let's just be a little realistic. We can make it happen because we're all about making it happen. But she's like, we're going to have to pack the house if you want to rent it. We're going to have to do 50 million different things. So by the way,
50 million. 50 million. It's a lot of things.
That's a lot of things. We were going to rent the house. We decided not to because one of the things, Jess reeled me in a little. So that was one of the challenges. We decided to, you know what? Let's eliminate that. Yeah. Right? And then the other part of it was our stuff. So for me, it was just kind of how are we going to make this work with the business, but also accomplish what we want to accomplish, which is living life of freedom, seeing our friends, seeing our family, and still being able to maintain the business. Because I know Lauren is very nervous about
our integrator.
Yes. Again, another cross-country journey.
Right. Because we've done that before. I think when we're making decisions, and I want to bring up a couple challenges, we tend to go in this hierarchy, this order. It's, what is best for us individually and what will make us happy, healthy, sane. What is best for us as a couple? What is best for the life that we want to create? That might be the friends and the family, and then the business. It's not that the business gets the back burner, but when we put our life first, our health and happiness first, then the business thrives. So it's really looking at how are we going to make it work. In terms of challenges, I think we definitely move fast. So it was a pretty quick decision and quick turnaround.
People are like, what the hell?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks. So I think just getting all of our ducks in a row, there have been little challenges here and there, whether it was the application to the apartment or just deciding where we were going to be or the market not really having much to offer.
Yeah.
And us being okay with that, being flexible with, well, this might be the town that we land in, even though that's not where we were looking. I think other challenges that have come up have just been, they're not challenges though, because we've already done it.
Yeah, honestly, when you said challenges, I was like, okay, well, let's talk about the decision-making process. But, really, it wasn't really a challenge. The challenge was the decision to say, hey, we're gonna fulfill this. We're gonna make this happen. And so exciting that we are.
I think the most challenging part for me, and you might agree, was it's like the moment before you jump.
Oh, totally.
Right? When you're like on the edge of a high dive or a bridge and you're going to jump into the water. It's like it's standing on the edge, and right before you finally make the decision, that's the hardest part. And so we sat in that for a couple of days at home on the couch where it was like, are we really going to do this? Is it worth it? Is this stupid? Are we crazy? It's the indecision for me is the most challenging part. The moment we decided, it was like, okay, well, what do we need to do? Let's make lists. Let's figure it out. Let's reverse engineer it. So
just to add real quick, I think what was so cool was anytime that we started to get stuck and we're like, this feels crazy. We knew it was it wasn't coming from like our higher self or an elevated self. Every single time we came out of the gym or we had a great morning or whatever the heck, finished a walk or got off the phone with your parents, right? We were like, we are doing this. I don't care how we have to. We even thought about, all right, we'll rent a house for a month. We'll live with Jess's parents for a month. All due respect, again, that wasn't going to happen, right? So the theme there is really just really dig deep in terms of where you're making those decisions from a place. Where's it coming from, right? For us, the higher self was like, hey guys, you do want to go do this.
Right. So every time we felt stuck, what did we do?
We either went for a walk,
we moved,
or we worked out. Yeah, exactly.
Because the only way out is through. The only way to get unstuck is to literally move. The only way through the resistance is pressure, is movement. And so for us, it really would just be a walk, a couple push-ups, a dance party, and we would immediately start to feel better and make those decisions from a place of abundance and growth rather than scarcity and lack. So if you take anything away from this episode, number one, you can live a both and life. Number two, you don't need to know what it looks like. And number three, when you're feeling that resistance or you're feeling that stuckness, move.
Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the only thing I would add to that is just have crazy, stupid goals.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay to have, if you don't put them out there, you're never going to even inch towards them.
Yeah.
Right? So for us, there are a lot of people that think a lot of our goals are crazy. And we're going to have a whole episode about people thinking we're nuts and, quote, normal life and all that stuff. But set those big goals and then just put them out there year after year.
with a detachment on how they're going to happen and when they're going to happen.
And what they're going to look like.
Yeah. Because like you said earlier, I mean, for 2 years, we've really been talking about this because when we started our RV life, it became more real.
We never would have guessed it would have been an apartment.
And we also were talking about it more than 2 years ago. I remember living in New Jersey, which at this point was 5 years ago. I remember living in our house in New Jersey talking about 6 years ago, how you weren't going to be commuting with the briefcase and the tie and the suit up until you were in your 60s. But we didn't know what you'd be doing, or how we lived the snowbird life, or the fact that we'd be doing it before we're 40.
Speak it into existence.
Yeah. So, it's like I look back 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and I'm like so proud of us for just holding on to that vision. And, it would come up in conversations here and there. And now all of a sudden, here we are in an Airbnb in Austin, making our way across the country.
Yeah. So that's the deal.
Anything else you'd like to add before we put a bow on it?
No, I think it's great. I think, again, those steps that you kind of covered, the both and life, it's there for you. You don't need to know what it looks like. And then just kind of lean into those challenges and make decisions from a place of alignment.
Love it. As always, any questions, comments, let us know. 973-358-7836. And I would love it so much if you took a screenshot of this episode and you tagged it on social media with your biggest takeaways or aha moments. Tag me at I am Jessica DeRose and tag Mike
at Mike.DeRose.
Yeah, we would love to see your takeaways. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, cheers to your evolution.
Bye, guys.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.